Chapter 18. I return to the middle of the field. Gavin waves his hands from the trail to my right as the unknown man stands on the edge of the cliff to my left. I know I have to get to the tree this time. I've seen all the other options. This one has been the most difficult to get to. I dash to the cliff, running as fast as I can. "No!" Gavin shouts, but I keep going, blocking out his insistent cries. As I reach the base, I begin the climb as though I have superpowers for once. The man's extended arm is my focal point and motivation. Everything in me is screaming that I need to get to him. This time there's no sliding rocks, no slipping steps. I make it to the cliff quickly and latch my hand to the man's. His hand tightens around mine as tingles shoot throughout my body. I watch the muscles in his arm protrude as his grip strengthens, and he pulls me up over the edge of the cliff. I land on my knees and hands, panting, the wind knocked out of me. Once I catch my breath, I look up. The sun shifted behind the trees, their limbs blocking its sharp glares. I finally see the face shadowed in my dreams for too long. Liam. Those eyes with the long lashes and the hint of green that outlines the brown, more similar to mine than anyone else I've met. He smiles and reaches out one more time to help me stand to my feet. I don't want to let go of his hand. I want to trace every part, feeling the creases, the veins, as though somehow that would tell me more about him. I want to know all his secrets, and I'm ready to tell him mine. I am disappointed when he lets go and contemplates slipping, just so I can feel his touch again. Instead, he wordlessly tells me to follow him as he walks toward the tree. My awe of him instantaneously transfers. Seeing the tree up close is even more surreal than my view from under the cliff. It's magnificent. The bark of the trunk is dark and stained, lines twisted throughout display its age and wisdom. Each limb extends for miles, and although thin, the strength is apparent, like they carry the weight of the world and all the centuries of the past. The leaves are flawlessly heart-shaped, with white swirls dancing in the soft green beds. I would be content staring at it, soaking in its beauty for days to come. Liam points up, deep in the tree several feet away from one side of the trunk. Squinting, I eventually see the outline of a person. I blink my eyes until the full picture comes into view, revealing a beautiful woman with a tiny nose, straight auburn hair and big brown eyes, rocking a baby in her arms. The woman's legs are dangling over the edge of a limb, swaying in beat to a song I can scarcely hear her humming. The baby is wrapped in a blue blanket, its face hidden from my view. Liam doesn't need to say it. I know this is his pairing and child. It is my reminder that he has a role already and I don't have a place in his life. Liam holds up a finger as if to say, "Hold on," and walks back in the direction we came from. I return my eyes back to the vision above me. There is something incredibly serene about a mother with her baby. Maybe one of the most stunning sights I've witnessed. An eerie silence slashes the air. The continuous rustling of the leaves as faint gusts of wind blow abruptly stops. The woman's hum is all that remains. The green leaves above me turn brown and crackle, falling down from the limbs of the tree like snow. The ground beneath my feet crumbles in pieces. I watch in horror as the ocean rushes in, licking up the rocks as though starving and ravenous for more. I fall, pushing myself back on my hands and feet. A splintering pierces the sky. As though slow motion, a portion of the tree's massive trunk breaks off from the rest, the limbs trembling with fear as they dive into the ocean following the cliff's path of erosion. On one of those limbs sits Liam's pairing and baby, her face still somehow composed as they tumble in the air, mixing with broken limbs into the water. The cracked trunk lands on them with a loud thud as it hits the water, pushing them to the depths of the sea. hang over the newly created cliff, reaching out to them, trying to help. My mouth is open, but no sound comes out. I glance over my shoulder and watch Liam walk back to where we all once stood. Except now, only I remain with one half of the tree. His face twists in anguish and confusion as he processes the scene. I want to reach out to comfort him, but I'm stretched out to the ocean, searching for the hands of his pairing and baby to rescue them. A jolt in my body wakes me. Someone screams in my ear. No, that's me. I'm screaming, but I can't stop. Shh. A hand rubs my back. Sweat drips down my face and arms. I try to turn over on my back, but I can barely move. My head pounds and the rest of my body parts are on full alert. Some a throbbing ache, others doused in fire. Here, let me help. Someone gently rolls me over. I wait for my eyes to adjust to the darkness. The sound of a match striking a box produces a flickering light which sweeps over the scene in front of me. I gasp and crawl backward using my arms, but the pain is so great I collapse. I look into a face I have seen once but have dreamt about since. His eyes are entirely hazel now, but I still recognize them. He brushes my hair out of my face. I'm Liam, he says. Liam. My heart thumps loudly against my chest. I think he can hear it, and see it, for that matter. I turn my head to the left and the right, but it is still too dark to see anything that falls outside of the match's glow. Where am I? All I can perceive are trees and canvases shaped like tents, highlighted by a fire dancing in the night. When I look back at Liam, fear overcomes me. No, I'm sorry. I take it back. I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking. I shouldn't have asked. My throat dries into sawdust. Please don't tell anyone. I can't handle being punished again. Liam tenderly smiles. It is the same apprehensive smile he had the first time we met. A warm chill pulses under my skin. It's okay. We're in a community called Rebirth. You can ask questions here. He pauses, then reveals. Gavin is hunting for food. He should be back soon. He told me to let you know that. Gavin? I pull myself up. I need to see him. Gavin is here? Liam nods. We've been taking turns to keep watch and make sure you are okay. Don't push it. He lowers me back down to the cot. You're not ready yet. How long have I been here? We got you out several days ago. You've been hard asleep since then. Questions are firing away in my mind. How did you get here? I ask. Liam dips a towel into a bowl, wrings it out, and then places it on my forehead. A coolness covers the heat, necessary to tame the fire in me. We'll have time for more questions later. Right now you need to rest so we can get some strength in you. Do you feel like you can eat? My stomach turns at the thought of food. I'm not sure. I stammer. Let's try a little. It's been days since you've had anything. I'll be right back. I listen to the crunch of the leaves as Liam walks away. Silence beats in the darkness. It's been too long. I turn my head in the direction Liam walked despite the agony in my neck. Nobody is in sight. He said he would return, Evangeline. I console. He will be back. I mumble out loud. Please come back. Silence. Hello? Nobody responds. Did he abandon me? What if he was lying about Gavin? What if Liam was the one that put me in the box? What if he wants me to die? Does he think I killed his pairing and child? Does he think I'm involved since I work at the clinic? Is he getting revenge? I scream. Help! Somebody! Help me! Help! More leaves crunch at a faster pace than before. No, not you! Somebody! Help! Liam drops to his knees next to me and puts his hand on my arm. Evangeline, shh. It's going to be okay. I'm here. No, go away. Evangeline. I didn't do it. I didn't kill your baby. Liam's mouth drops open, and he falls back with his arms bracing his weight. Beads of water dot his eyelashes. His head drops, and he rubs his face with his hands. Evie, are you awake? Gavin. His voice. His nickname for me. Gavin, you're here! I cry out with overwhelming relief to see him. The outline of Gavin's body appears as he moves closer to the light. He drops the gear from his back to the ground. He gently helps lift me up, puts his arms around me and cradles me into his chest. Brushing my hair with his hand, he whispers into my ear. Just breathe. I am here now. I'm so sorry I left. I needed to find more food. Tears run down my face. Despite the aches, I feel so happy and relieved. This is what happiness is. Gavin is here. He holds me as tightly as he can without hurting me. After several moments of silence, I lift my head and look behind us. Liam is gone. I never heard him leave. Gavin. I look up at him, his blue eyes penetrating the night sky. I don't understand any of this. I need to know what happened. He nods and moves his hand in tiny circles around my back. There's no easy way to say it. I planned to wait a few days until you recovered. However, I know you well enough to know the questions won't stop until you have answers. He chuckles softly. I attempt to return his smile, but am too strained. Evie, Impetus punished you for your denial of their plans during the Futures ceremony. No one has ever rejected them before in such a public way. They saw it as a sign of rebellion, which, as you know, is not tolerated in Impetus. My head spins. They punished me? For refusing a future they made up? They stuck me in a glass box and left me to die without food, water, or remedy. Remedy. Gavin, I need remedy. I squirm out of Gavin's arms. The beeping. I can hear it. Beep, beep, beep. I'm running out of time. Ow, that hurts. Stop. Gavin's arms tighten around me. Let me go. You're supposed to help me. Instead of loosening his grip, Gavin stiffens it even more. Please stop moving, Evie. Stop. Look at your wrist. It's gone. The monitor is gone, and you're still okay. I glance down at my wrist where a strip of milky white skin stares back at me from where the monitor had been all my life. Bare. It looks so strange. You need to listen and trust me. I have never led you astray, and you know it. I stop struggling while sobs wreck my body. As scared as I am, I trust him with my life. I know he wants to protect me. I'll listen, but only if you don't hold anything back. Please, I can't handle any more lies. No more lies. Promise me, please. I plead. Gavin runs his hand through his hair. I'm sorry for not telling you the truth about Impetus. It's my biggest regret. He lets go of his grip around my body and holds my hand. Remedy is a lie. It's a drug used to maintain control on people by neutralizing their physical and emotional feelings. When you rebelled against the Elders Board in such an emotional way, it proved some can overcome Remedy, which is unacceptable and defeats everything they've worked to build. They were already suspicious because of your eye color. Those with the genes to vary in eye color have a stronger resistance to the drug. But yours... His blue eyes are light, a far cry from the brown, black, and gray. Gavin shakes his head. This is about you right now. Let's focus on one topic at a time. So they tried to kill me just because I need more remedy to be brainwashed? Anger. This is anger exploding within. The emotion is easy to pinpoint. The glass box is a torture device used to punish people. They put you in it without remedy to force you to feel the most awful kind of pain, magnified only since you aren't used to feeling at all. It's a psychological game to them. They do it to weaken you, so you eventually depend on them even more, as a not-so-subtle reminder to follow the rules established by Impetus. This new information is difficult to process, draining me mentally, emotionally, and physically. Why were so many people walking by me? Were they told not to help me since I ruined the ceremony? I shudder at the thought. Picture the remedy advertisements in the center of the streets. Those square steel rectangles that remind people of the importance of taking their remedy. They locked you in one. Secret punishment chambers. Even though you could see out like clear glass, all anyone who walked by you saw was the remedy advertisement. They can't see inside the box. Like you never could when you walked by them. But, Gavin, there is one box down each street in Impetus. Please don't say each one of those is a punishment chamber. Gavin looks away from me and mutters, I'm afraid so. How many people have I walked by every day as they withered in pain, wondering why I wasn't stopping to help them? Waves of nausea flow through my stomach and climb my throat. You say they're punishment chambers, but I almost died. I'm sure they were trying to kill me. You experienced withdrawal. It happens when someone stops taking a drug they are addicted to. Impetus has made all of its members completely reliable on remedy and has fed you the lie that if you don't take it, you will die. When you're addicted to it, you feel like you will die without it. It's a losing battle. The wrist monitors don't determine how close you are to death. They beep when your body senses a feeling higher or lower than neutral. They only identify when feelings and emotions return, which is why the experience was so intense. Your body didn't have time to adjust. His words bounce against the walls in my mind as the shock settles. There is so much to digest. Why do people want to feel? This is horrible. I understand why emotions killed before. I get it. Maybe Impetus isn't wrong with that. If only you knew what it's like. Evie. Gavin lets out a sigh. I can feel. I've been able to for many years. But you said you read a book. He lied. Gavin lied to me. I couldn't explain what remedy was doing to you. Not yet. It was the only solution I could come up with to introduce you to feelings and emotions without exposing you to them. I thought it would help lessen the pain if this day came. It's because of your eyes, isn't it? You can't feel remedy because of your eye color. Gavin nods in response. Everything is slowly clicking. I don't understand, though. Do you still take it anyway? Does your community use it? How are you able to survive without it? We'll have time later for questions about my life. Right now, let's focus on you. I'm sorry that this is how you had to find out, Evie. I wanted you to feel. It's not always terrible. There are great feelings and wonderful emotions. You will soon discover those too, I promise. It may take time, though. You will be in withdrawal for a while yet. We have to get this out of your system. He runs his fingers tenderly down the side of my face. I can feel your smooth cheek and the tears that are drying. Can you feel me? I can. Gavin's finger strokes the side of my cheek. His touch is warm and welcoming. For the first time in 12 years since we have played this game, I can finally answer. Yes. My body relaxes from his touch, and my breathing deepens. Please keep doing that, I request. A hazy thought enters my mind, and I barely find the energy to mumble. Liam won't hurt me. Gavin's voice rides on a breeze that tickles my ear. He asked the same thing about you. What? My question is slurred. Speaking is suddenly hard to accomplish. He knew you worked at the clinic. He wasn't sure how much knowledge you had of things. But he's a good guy. You can trust him. That's all I need to hear. The most peaceful, restful sleep I've had since I was 6 years old, envelops me in welcomed oblivion.